Oni is a type of Japanese yokai which closely resembles a demon, orc, or ogre. This creature is large, hulking with muscle and horns protruding from its head. Known for their love of murder and cannibalism, Oni are known to torment humans all throughout Japanese history. The most powerful of the Oni was known as Shutendoji, or the sake-drinking lad, for his love of sake, a Japanese alcoholic beverage. He was 50 feet in height, had a red body and a 5-horned head with 15 eyes. Due to the disappearance of several young women in the area, the Emperor Ichijo summoned the war hero Minamoto Noraiko to kill the demon suspected of the abductions. Disguised as priests, Minamoto Noraiko and his men incapacitated the Oni with sake and cut off its head. The sword which decapitated Shutendoji is now known as one of the Tenka Goken, the 5 greatest swords under heaven.
It's this one character, which is this idea where a branch off upper primate that would be 10 times more intelligent than a human, that would keep the human numbers in check. It's so intelligent, and it can hold, like the way that you're conscious or I'm conscious now, it can hold 2 or 3 or 4 versions of consciousnesses like that in its head at any given moment. So it can look at topics from multiple real points of view. That basically goes into hibernation. It lets the human population build up. And then when it comes out of hibernation, over a few generations, its existence may have been turned into myth or something, and then hunts the population down again, right? So because its brain structure is so different, its visual cortex is different to a human, and it calculates like horizontal and vertical simultaneously. It's like a pattern recognition system for hunting. And up until a few thousand years ago, there were no right angles in nature, but humans started building Euclidean geometry buildings. That caused an overlap in its visual cortex. It sent the vampires into grand mal epileptic seizures. So we misinterpreted that as holding up crosses.
I have yet to see any technology ever built outside of the human body that does not mimic what you and I already do in the cells of our bodies, except we do it better. And when we begin to replace our natural biology, when we begin to replace that with chips, computer chips, wires, chemicals in the blood, what happens is our biology begins to atrophy. We begin to lose those capabilities. In the one generation, maybe it's recreational technology. But the next generation, those capabilities begin to disappear, and we begin to lose our humanness. That is what's on the line right now. You get where I'm coming from? Can you feel that?
Non-biological.
Have you ever seen an orangutan that is fishing with a spear?
No.
They've figured out how to fish with spears. They've imitated human beings doing it, and now they do it, but they do it independently. They're not trained orangutans. They're wild orangutans. Look at that. That is a wild orangutan.
Okay, that's impressive. That's impressive.
Well, there's biologists that believe that monkeys and chimps and some of the great apes are moving into the Stone Age, that they've currently entered the Stone Age. Like, they're not staying what they were 100,000 years ago or 500,000 years ago, but they're actively using tools, and they're experimenting with different ways to use those tools, and then they're making tools out of stone, they're making tools out of sticks, and they're using them. This might just be what happens. I think it's much more likely that the same way we observe chimps, and we observe that they are now in the Stone Age, that they're observing us, and that they're recognizing that there is a pattern, that there's steps that happen.